સદન ગુજરાત ચેમ્બર ઓફ કોમર્સના પ્રમુખ શ્રી નિખિલભાઈ, સદન ગુજરાત ચેમ્બર ઓફ કોમર્સના વાઇસ પ્રેસિડેન્ટ શ્રી અશોકભાઈ, પાસ્ટ પ્રેસિડેન્ટ શ્રી આશીષભાઈ, ટ્રેઝરર શ્રી મોદી સાહેબ, એફઆરઆરસીના ચેરમેન શ્રી મુંદ્રા સર, આમંત્રિતો મિત્રો, ઉદ્યોગના સૌ આગેવાનો, આજના સદન ગુજરાત ચેમ્બર ઓફ કોમર્સ અને એની જે એક સંસ્થા એફઆરઆરસીના સહયોગથી જે આપણે ટેક્સટાઇલ પર્વ પાર્ટ 2 શરૂ કરવા જઈ રહ્યા છે, એ માટે સૌ પ્રથમ હું પ્રમુખ શ્રી નિખિલભાઈ અને સૌને વિનંતી કરીશ કે દીપ પ્રાગટ્યથી આપણે કાર્યક્રમની શરૂઆત કરીએ. આભાર. આપણી ભારતીય પ્રાચીન પરંપરા અનુસાર કોઈ પણ શુભ કાર્ય દીપ પ્રાગટ્યથી કરીએ છીએ. માવાનો બાવાનો હસ્તે આ કાર્યક્રમ સારી રીતે સંપન્ન થાય. હવે સદન ગુજરાત ચેમ્બર ઓફ કોમર્સના પ્રમુખ શ્રી નિખિલભાઈને પ્રમુખ જોગ પ્રવચન કરવા વિનંતી. નિખિલભાઈ.
અમારા માટે ખૂબ આનંદની વાત છે કે આ વર્ષે પહેલાં એક આખું ટેક્સટાઇલ વીક, પછી બીજું ટેક્સટાઇલ વીક આપણે કરવા માટે આગળ વધી રહ્યા છીએ. ટેક્સટાઇલ એ એવો વિષય છે કે જે આપણા સૌના નસે નસમાં છે. આપણા દેશની, આપણા શહેરની વસ્તીની વાત કરીએ તો અત્યારે એમ કહેવાય કે 85 લાખનું શહેર. હવે આ મતગણતરી અત્યારે થઈ રહી છે એટલે ખબર પડશે કે આપણું શહેર 70 લાખનું છે કે 90 લાખનું છે. પરંતુ આ શહેરની અંદર 15 લાખ લોકો જે ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી સાથે સંકળાયેલા હોય, એ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી માટે આપણે જેટલું કરીએ એટલું ઓછું છે. અને એટલે જ સતત આવા કાર્યક્રમો ચેમ્બર ઓફ કોમર્સનું આયોજનમાં આગળ વધતા હોઈએ છીએ. તો આપ સૌનું હાર્દિક સ્વાગત છે. સ્વાગત છે શ્રી રવિચંદ્રનજી, ચેરમેન કોન્ફેડરેશન ઓફ ઇન્ડિયન ટેક્સટાઇલ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી ન્યૂ દિલ્હી, વિથ અ રાઉન્ડ ઓફ એપ્લોઝ. અમને મોડું એટલા માટે થયું કે વી હેડ ડન અ લિટલ પોડકાસ્ટ વિથ મિસ્ટર અશ્વિનજી એન્ડ વી ટોક્ડ ઇન ઇંગ્લિશ એન્ડ હી પોસ્ટ લોટ ઓફ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન regarding QCO, regarding foreign exchange, regarding quality control, regarding US tariff, regarding so many things, and how they are protecting, means city as an organization protecting textile industry. So we had a lot of many conversation with him. So मैं इतना बोल सकता हूँ कि the most knowledgeable person today we are come across, because he is having the sense, he smells the textile. So sir, welcome to the textile city, welcome to the diamond city of India. Sir, Surat की बात करूँ, I am very happy to say that it is the most loving and lovable city of the whole world. We are the fastest growing city of the world, we can always claim. 15 लाख लोग टेक्सटाइल में, 15 लाख लोग डायमंड में, 10 में से 9 डायमंड यहाँ पर पॉलिशिंग होता है. मैंने अभी आपके साथ जो बात की इन बिटवीन द अवर जर्नी कि लेब्रॉन इज कमिंग अ वेरी फास्ट, रियल एस्टेट इंडस्ट्री, देन हजीरा, मल्टीपल all multinational companies are coming up. Means Surat is having tremendous phenomenal growth in last 20 years. Now, sir, I can say it is a bridge, it is a city of flyover bridges. It is a city of 22 minutes. Wherever you want to go, you can reach within 30 minutes. That is also our speciality. हमारे यहाँ तापी नदी है, वो तापी नदी कभी थाईलैंड के राजा ने देखी थी 110 साल पहले। ही वॉज सो हैप्पी विद द रिवर ताप्ती, तो वहाँ जाकर उन्होंने उनकी एक जो तापी रिवर थी, वो रिवर थी, उनका नाम उन्होंने तापी कर दिया था। और इनके साथ साथ वहाँ पर जो शहर था तो वो नेचुरली तापी के किनारे था, तो उसका नाम भी बदल के उन्होंने सूरत ठानी रखा था। ये सूरत का इतिहास है। सूरत द 30th city of the world in 1994 because of so-called plague. In 2025, we are the cleanest city of the whole country. So for that we also compliment ourselves. तो और मुझे ज़्यादा नहीं बोलना है क्योंकि आपको सुनने के लिए लोग आए हैं। फिर से एक बार मेरे सभी जो मंच पर महानुभाव है और आप सबका हार्दिक स्वागत करते हुए मुझे बड़ी प्रसन्नता आती है। आभार।
થેન્ક યુ નિખિલભાઈ. હવે પછીના કાર્યક્રમ માટે હું ગિરધર ગોપાલ મુંદ્રા સરને બોલાવું એ પહેલાં એક વાત કરવી છે કે ભાગવદ્ ગીતામાં એક સરસ વાત છે જે મુખ્ય હાર્દ છે કે જગતમાં ત્રણ પ્રકૃતિના લોકો હોય છે. એક છે સત્વ, એક છે રજસ અને બીજા તમસ. ચેમ્બરના પ્રમુખ નિખિલભાઈ ઇઝ ફૂલ ઓફ એનર્જી. રજસ પ્રકૃતિની વ્યક્તિ છે. So dynamic person and engaged in doing lot of programs, and that is the beauty of the chamber. અને આ પ્રોગ્રામની વાત કરું તો જે strategies for enhancing global presence by MSMEs in MMF segments. चंदन सर, अश्विन जी, मुझे आपको बताते हुए खुशी होती है कि माय सब्जेक्ट इन PhD इज MSMEs in textile weaving, Surat city. હવે આપણે ગિરધર ગોપાલ મુંદ્રા સરને આમંત્રણ આપું છું એ બોલવા માટે કે આપણી એક્ટિવિટી શું છે, GFRRC શું છે, ટેક્સટાઇલ પર્વ શું છે, જે 11 વર્ષથી પ્રવૃત્તિઓ સતત ચાલી રહી છે એના આર્કિટેક્ટ કહીએ તો મુંદ્રા સર છે. અને પ્લીઝ વેલકમ અશ્વિનજી એઝ વેલ એઝ મુંદ્રા સર ટુ બી હિયર. मुंद्रा सर प्लीज.
सर्वप्रथम तो आज गीता जयंती व एकादशी, कौन सी एकादशी है? मोक्षदा एकादशी है, तो सब लोगों को बहुत बहुत हार्दिक बधाई और शुभकामनाएं. चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स के प्रेसिडेंट श्रीमान निखिल भाई और मंच पर उपस्थित सभी विशिष्ट मेहमानगण, उपस्थित उद्योग जगत से पधारे हुए आप सभी व्यापारी भाइयों, टेक्सटाइल पर 2 के इस अवसर पर पधारे हुए आप सभी लोगों का खूब हार्दिक अभिनंदन व स्वागत है. पहले टेक्सटाइल पर किया था, उसका उद्देश्य यही था कि सूरत की टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री की ग्रोथ कैसे बढ़े, कैसे हमारी ब्रांड इमेज बने. उसका आउटकम ये आया कि काफ़ी लोगों ने नए इस टेक्सटाइल के क्षेत्र में नए ढंग से इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है. तो आज उसी कड़ी में हम सेकंड ये टेक्सटाइल पर्व का आयोजन हमने किया है, जिसमें पूरा एक तारीख से लेके और 8 तारीख तक टेक्सटाइल की सभी सेक्टर को हमने कवर करने का प्रयास किया है. उद्देश्य जैसा बताया मैंने, हमारी ब्रांड इमेज कैसे बने, इसके लिए हमारे प्रमुख श्री निखिल भाई ने बड़ी मेहनत की है. तो मैं चाहूँगा जोरदार तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट से आप इनका स्वागत करें. बंधुओं, ये टेक्सटाइल वीक अथवा सेमिनार्स क्यों जरूरी है? सरकार ने हमारे ऊपर जवाबदारी सौंपी है कि $100 बिलियन का टारगेट हमें पूरा करना है. और जब हमारी टेक्सटाइल सेक्रेटरी स्वयं यहाँ पर आई थी तो उन्होंने कहा था ये $100 बिलियन जो है, इसको पूरा करने में सूरत का सहयोग बहुत ज़रूरी है. बिना सूरत के सहयोग के ये संभव नहीं है. इसलिए हम ये सेमिनार्स का आयोजन कर रहे हैं. निखिल भाई ने बड़ी बारीकी से उस चीज़ को ध्यान में लिया व स्टडी की. इसलिए देखिए ना, आप पूरा 1 हफ्ते का प्रोग्राम आयोजित कर दिया है. MSME सेक्टर को बढ़ावा देने के लिए सरकार ने अभी 45,000 करोड़ रुपए का अनाउंसमेंट किया है, जिसमें 25,000 करोड़ रुपये तो एक्सपोर्ट के प्रमोशन के लिए है और 20,000 करोड़ रुपया क्रेडिट गारंटी योजना के अंतर्गत वो सैंक्शन किया है. आज उसी के ऊपर से MSME के ऊपर से आपको सेमिनार यहाँ हमारे जो वक्ता हैं एक्सपर्ट स्पीकर वो उसके बारे में जानकारी आपको देंगे। कृषि हटाने की या स्थगित करने से MSME उद्योग को अब BSI सर्टिफिकेट की नीड नहीं है। मतलब अब रॉ मटेरियल बहुत सरलता से हम इंपोर्ट कर सकते हैं, वह कंप्लाइंस जो है वो उसका कुछ कम बोझ कम हो जाएगा। और इसके लिए हटाने के लिए भारतवर्ष में यदि किसी ने मेहनत की है तो हमारे यहाँ 2 लोग यहाँ वाइस प्रेसिडेंट श्रीमान जीरावाला साहब अशोक भाई और आशीष भाई गुजराती, जिनके पूरे प्रयास के साथ चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स के प्रेसिडेंट की पूरे आशीर्वाद के साथ सहयोग के साथ इतना बड़ा काम हुआ है। जोरदार तालियों के गवर्नर साथ बंधुओं, ये सेमिनार कोई छोटी मोटी चीज़ नहीं है। यहाँ हम लोग सरलता से प्रोग्राम कर देते हैं, इसलिए हमको लग रहा है। आज आप देखिए लंदन UK के जो एक्स प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैं ऋषि सुनक जी और क्लिंटन साहब, ओबामा साहब 1 घंटे का 1 करोड़ रुपये लेते हैं और दिन में 2 सेमिनार का आयोजन करते हैं, 2 करोड़ रुपये लेते हैं। 2 करोड़ रुपये 2 घंटे का। तो हम लोग यहाँ पर 1 से बढ़ के 1 स्पीकर्स को लाते हैं, तो हमारे लोग जो हमको एक्सपेक्टेशन थी वैसा उपस्थिति नहीं मिल रही। तो हमें प्रयास ये करना है, प्रचार प्रसार करना है कि सरकार जो सुविधाएं दे रही हैं जिनके बारे में हमें जानकारी नहीं है, वो जानकारियां हमारे एक्सपर्ट स्पीकर देंगे और हमारी ग्रोथ आगे बढ़ेगी। हम प्रगति की ओर हम आगे बढ़ेंगे। अभी बताइए आप 60,000 करोड़ रुपया स्किल डेवलपमेंट के लिए सरकार ने घोषणा की है। कितने लोगों को जानकारी है इसकी? 60,000 करोड़ रुपया स्किल डेवलपमेंट के लिए ITI के माध्यम से नहीं है, बहुत कम लोगों को जानकारी है। ये सेमिनार इसलिए कर रहे हैं हम, ये एक्सपर्ट स्पीकर इसलिए बुलाए हैं कि जानकारी देंगे हमें। 60,000 करोड़ रुपए ITI के माध्यम से कोई भी इंडस्ट्री लगी, आप जानकारी लीजिए, ऐसे सेमिनार्स में आइए तो उसका एक अलग ही आनंद आएगा। और आज के विषय के जो है, सबसे पहले हमें MSME को अपनी क्वालिटी मजबूत करनी होगी और नई टेक्नोलॉजी को अपनाना होगी। अच्छी मशीनरी, नई फैब्रिक्स और वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट्स ही जो ग्लोबल हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स उनको अट्रैक्ट करने का तरीका है। ग्लोबल सर्टिफिकेशन, अगर हम OK टैक्स, GRS, ICO जैसे सर्टिफिकेशन लें तो जो फॉरेन की ब्रांड्स हैं हम पर ज़्यादा विश्वास करेंगी, जो कि हमारा चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स CFS के माध्यम से प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि हमारे यहाँ एक अच्छी लैब बने। तो ये एक्सपोर्ट के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है। डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म का संपूर्ण ढंग से हम उपयोग करें। ट्रेड फेयर्स और बायर सेलर्स मीट में हम भाग लें ताकि हमें नए नए मार्केट की जानकारी मिले। और ग्लोबल नेटवर्क सफलता की ये कुंजी भी है। अंत में मैं इतने कहना चाहूँगा कि अगर हमारे MSMEs को क्वालिटी, इनोवेशन, डिजिटलाइजेशन और सस्टेनेबिलिटी पर हम ध्यान दें तो भारत जल्दी एमएमएफ सेक्टर में दुनिया का लीडर बन सकता है। क्योंकि आज गीता जयंती है, इसलिए शास्त्र में कहा भी है कि अनाश्रितरा कर्मफलम कार्यम कर्म करोति सा संन्यास्य योगिचा ना निरग्न न चक्रिया। अर्थात भगवत पहनने से हम साधु नहीं कहलाएंगे, इसके लिए हमें कर्तव्य कर्म करना पड़ेगा। इसलिए सफलता की कुंजी क्या है? हार्ड वर्क हम करेंगे तो ही सफलता मिलेगी। तो बंधुओं, हम इस तरफ बहुत ध्यान दें और ऐसे सेमिनार्स में जो आपको डेली आपको कुछ ना कुछ नई जानकारी मिलेगी वो अटेंड करें। आभार, धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू मुंद्रा सर। चेंबर की एक्टिविटीज़, GFRRC एज वेल एज टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री के बारे में आपने काफ़ी कुछ बताया। GFRRC के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स भी आपने बताए, इंडस्ट्री की तकलीफ है और जो नॉलेज की सीरीज़ में वेरियस प्रोग्राम्स करते हैं इनके बारे में भी आपने बताया। हमें हूँ ने मुंद्रा सर हमारा बैठा था ने थोड़ी વાર पहला चर्चा करता था कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजન્સ AI એ કાપડ ઉદ્યોગને કેવી રીતે અસર કરશે અને આવનારા વર્ષો કેવા હશે। તો મુંદ્રા સર સાથે બેસીને નક્કી કર્યું છે કે ચેમ્બર ઓફ કોમર્સના માધ્યમથી આર્ટિફિશિયલ ઇન્ટેલિજન્સ ઇન ટેક્સટાઇલ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીનું એક પુસ્તક બહાર પાડીશું અને એના વિશે એક દિવસે સેમિનાર નાનકડો કરી અને એક જાગૃતિની જ્વાળા आपने जगावी है जो इंडस्ट्री ने फायदो थशे।
अमरीश भाई स्वयं ये किताब लिखने वाले हैं और वही स्पीकर के रूप में हमारे सामने उपस्थित रहेंगे।
थैंक यू मुंद्रा सर। હવે આજના જે આપણા સ્પીકર છે અશ્વિન ચંદ્રન સર, જેઓ CITI કન્ફેડરેશન ઓફ ઇન્ડિયન ટેક્સટાઇલ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીઝ ઇઝ અ વેરી લર્નેડ મેન, very learned person, a very well experienced person. We are very happy and we are lucky to have you here, sir. Kindly throw lights about the industry today and tomorrow and oblige us. So welcome, sir. એ પહેલાં હું અમને વિનંતી કરું છું આશીષભાઈને કે અશ્વિન ચંદ્રન સરનો પરિચય આપો. આશીષભાઈ.
Honorable Dignitaries, President Nikhil Bhai, all the office bearers, esteemed speaker, respected industry leaders, ladies and gentlemen, very good evening to you. In fact, it is my honor to give the introduction of Ashwin sir. मैं एक बात बताना चाहता हूँ कि सिटी से हमारा नाता बहुत पुराना है. सिटी मतलब इट इज कॉन्फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडियन टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री, जो एक तरह से बोले तो भाई આપણા બધાની જે માતૃ સંસ્થા કહેવાય ટેક્સટાઇલ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીની, એ સિટી છે, બેઝ દિલ્હી છે. અને ज्यारसी चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स, जब से चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स उनके साथ जुड़ा है, तब से और उससे पहले भी उनका ये अभिगम था कि भाई MSME टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री ग्रो होगी तो ही बाकी की इंडस्ट्री ग्रो होगी. सो सर, वेरी थैंकफुल टू यू फॉर द वेरी गुड सपोर्ट फ्रॉम सिटी. टुडे एज वी इनॉग्रेट द टेक्सटाइल पर्व 2.0, a week-long celebration of knowledge, innovation and the future of textile industry, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome a visionary leader who has been shaping Indian textile ecosystem with remarkable depth and direction, Sri Ashwin Chandran, the chairman of Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, City, New Delhi. Sri Chandran is one of the most influential voices in India's textile sector, a leader whose work span industry, policy, technology, skill, sustainability. His leadership at City, the apex national body representing the entire textile value chain from cotton farmers to garment exporters and even all the MMF sector also, has been instrumental in ensuring that industry concerns translate into actionable policies and progressive reforms. The recent example is recalling of the QCO. QCO निकालने में उनका भी बहुत बड़ा रोल है सिटी का. City continues to be the strong bridge between Government of India and textile fraternity, ensuring growth that is both holistic and future oriented. He also chairs the Textile Sector Skill Council (TCS) and City CDRA, reinforcing India's skilling, productivity and cotton development landscape. Through TCS, he has been steering national effort to build a future-ready skilled workforce for the entire textile value chain, from fiber to finished product, ensuring India stays competitive in global market. At industry level, Sri Ashwin Chandran leads Precot Limited. So this is your company name is Precot or something else is there? Precot Limited. As it is as a chairman and managing director with diversified presence across Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. He has successfully aligned the company's growth and national priorities of innovation, sustainability and operational excellence. An alumnus of UMIST UK and MBA graduate from University of Illinois, USA. Sri Chandran has been actively contributed to several industry bodies like Textile and notably served as one of the distinguished association and served as the chairman of the South India Mills Association SAIMA from 2019 to 2021. SAIMA और सिटी वो दोनों एक दूसरे के परवाही है, सिक्के की दो सेम वन कॉइन एंड टू साइड ऑफ द कॉइन ऐसा है. तो SAIMA, सिटी, SGCCI and Textile, all these associations work together for the benefit of the industry. What truly distinguishes him is the holistic understanding of the textile ecosystem from fields to factories to global markets. His vision consistently emphasizes strengthening the value chain end to end and ensuring India's textile sector evolves into globally competitive, innovation-driven powerhouse. Today, as he addresses us on the crucial theme, strategies for enhancing global presence by MSMEs in MMF segment. Sir, we produce 65% of the total MMF of India, Surat. and we consume around 80-90% of the yarn or total MMM. We look forward to insight that will guide our MSMEs in scaling their global footprints and seizing emerging opportunities worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our privilege to welcome a leader, a reformer, a torchbearer of India's textile industry. Please join me in warmly welcoming our chief guest, Sri Ashwin Chandran. Sir, the floor is yours now.
President, Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Shri Nikhil Madrasi, office bearers and members of SGCCI, colleagues from the textile industry, ladies and gentlemen, Namaste, Shubh Sham. It's indeed an honor and a privilege for me to be part of this important Textile Park 2.0 event that has been organized in one of the major textile clusters in India and also been organized by one of the most historic and unique industry bodies, SGCCI. First of all, my congratulations are due to all of you. Today, it is impossible to speak of the man-made fiber textile industry in India without acknowledging the unmatched contribution of Surat, which is not merely one of the most important textile clusters in India, but it is truly India's MMF powerhouse. Surat hosts one of the world's largest synthetic textile ecosystems, supported by a dense network of companies across texturizing, twisting, weaving, knitting, dyeing, printing, and finishing. This city reflects a thriving culture of entrepreneurship, innovation, and adaptability. And I can say very confidently that Surat is the only cluster in the country that can stand up to the might of China. And we need many more Surats across the country. This spirit has to be replicated by every cluster in the country, and you have truly set a shining example. Congratulations. By adopting new technologies, from digital printing to value-added finishes, from using dope-dyed fibers and recycled polyester, Surat has proven that MSMEs, when supported by the right environment and cluster strength, can drive national competitiveness. However, to take India's MMF clusters, particularly MSMEs, to the next level of global presence, we must address some core structural challenges on a war-foot basis. The textile industry is undergoing a profound shift, influenced not just by market forces, but by a new global trade infrastructure and architecture that is redefining how companies source products from all over the world and redefining what companies expect from textile value chains. I was recently in Indonesia to attend an ITMF conference. ITMF is International Textile Manufacturers Federation, one of the largest textile bodies in the world. The event was attended by representatives from many brands and global retailers, including IKEA, Inditex, Lululemon, S. Oliver, etc. Most of the sessions and topics in the conference were about sustainability, circularity, and how to reduce carbon footprint. These words like sustainability, circularity, etc. sound very complicated. But these are things that we have been doing. As any business, these are things which we have been doing for many years. Every business looks at energy efficiency. All of us replace our motors, replace our pumps, replace our compressors, replace our fans to more energy efficient models. All of us have started relying more on green energy, like solar energy, wind energy. All of us use more natural fuels for our boilers and our furnaces. We are all using sustainable firewood, natural briquettes. All of us have started recycling our water. Today, most of the textile industry recycles their water and use up to 85% of the water that they have consumed back in the process. All these are things which are sustainable practices. All these are reducing our carbon footprint. But unless we document and unless we showcase these things to our customers, they will not understand that we are doing all these things. And all these things are also a way to increase our profitability. Investment is required, but medium term, long term, the payback for such investments is definitely there because they are bringing about a lot of savings in our day-to-day business. Globally, we are witnessing a transformation where man-made fiber today accounts for over 60% of the total global fiber consumption. 25 years ago, the equation was reverse. 60% was natural fibers, 40% was man-made fibers. Today, that has reversed. Man-made fibers account for 60% of the total fiber and garment production in the world, and this has been driven by a demand for performance wear, athleisure, technical textiles, and sustainable materials. By 2030, we expect that man-made fiber consumption is expected to exceed 100 million tons globally. This signals immense opportunities for the Indian textile industry. India has significant strengths in the MMF sector. We are among the world's largest producers of polyester fiber and filament. But when it comes to downstream value-added MMF exports, our presence remains below its true potential. Countries like China, Vietnam, and Turkey have built agile, innovation-led MMF ecosystems that today give them a competitive edge in the global markets. Like I said earlier, Surat is the only shining bright light in our MMF textile sector in the country, and Surat is the only cluster today that can compete on a level footing with countries like China, Vietnam, and Turkey. But we need more such examples in the country. Indian textile and apparel industry is dominated by MSMEs. While this is an advantage, it is also a disadvantage. A disadvantage because today global buyers and retailers are looking at scale. For one product, they don't want to deal with 10, 12 different suppliers. They want to reduce their supplier base in every product to only 2 or 3 suppliers. So this means that our MSMEs have to scale up to provide more volume and to provide more scale to match the expectation of global retailers and brands. As we aspire to reach a size of $350 billion, today our Indian textile and apparel industry is worth about $175 billion, of which only $37 billion comes from export. The remaining is our domestic textile industry. Our target is to reach $350 billion US, which means we have to double. That requires a growth rate of 11 to 12% on an annual compounded basis. I was just talking to Shri Gujarati ji this evening, and he was telling me that Surat has grown at 12% CAGR over the last 10 years. So that is phenomenal growth, and that is the kind of growth we need as a country to achieve this $350 billion dream that we have. Also, to achieve this $350 billion volume, MSMEs need to scale up, need to innovate, and need to integrate more effectively with global supply chains. There is increasing requirement on circularity, sustainability and traceability as compliance requirements and expectations from suppliers are growing day by day. We need to document our best practices, get ourselves better equipped and certified to meet the requirements of the global markets. That is where organizations like SGCCI and City can help textile industry get more organized in terms of compliance. Compliance sometimes seems like a bad word, seems like something that is difficult for industry, especially MSMEs, to achieve. But we have to do this boldly. We have to do this without thinking too much about the cost and the other implications, because that is the only way we can compete on a global level. And buyers today are actively seeking new, reliable, compliant and scalable partners. And we have to meet these challenges. As an industry, we must work towards the following critical strategies to strengthen our global presence in the MMF segment. Number one, technology upgradation. I think Surat again has been a leader in this area. There has been rapid modernization, especially in the weaving sector. But we must continue to do this across all sectors. Modernization, automation, green processing systems, and advanced finishing lines are the need of the hour today. The second, in terms of sustainability, we have to promote recycled raw materials. We have to promote low impact and low effluent processing industries. As global buyers today are increasingly prioritizing ESG compliance, environment, social compliance. 3, working towards digital supply chain management. Whatever we are keeping records on paper today, the industry expects us to convert them into digital records. They expect us to be traceable. Today they want to know where the raw material comes from, where that item was processed, where that item was woven, where that item was converted into a finished product. And every garment, every textile product in 10 years' time will carry a digital passport. It will carry a QR code or it will carry some sort of digital imprint by which the buyer using their phone can immediately see where that product came from, where the raw material was manufactured, where that product was woven or knitted, where it was converted into a finished product. So that is the level of traceability that global retailers and brands are looking at today. And soon that will come to India also. If you look at an Indian retailer or brand like say a Reliance Trends or Pantaloons, they are also today looking at where is my product coming from, because the customer is asking. The customer is asking whether this product was manufactured in a responsible way, in a sustainable way. So we have to ensure that we digitalize our processes and also create a digital footprint for each and every product that we are manufacturing. Apart from the above, MSMEs must also leverage free trade agreements which India has already signed or is in the process of signing. India has signed so far free trade agreements with the UK, with UAE, with Australia and few other countries. We are also talking with EU for the past 1 year with regard to signing a FTA with EU. But again, to be a supplier and take advantage of these free trade agreements, our MSMEs need to comply with various upcoming regulations towards environment and social sustainability. Such regulations like CS3D, HRDD, etc. are going to be passed as law by the European Union. The European Union Parliament is going to pass by 2030 certain regulations which will force their textile brands and retailers to only source products from responsible manufacturers. This will ensure that they have to look for partners who they can trust. Look for partners who they know are manufacturing in a responsible and sustainable way. To support our industry, particularly MSMEs, the Textile Ministry and the central government has launched several schemes such as MSC Gift, Green Investment and Financing for Transformation, which enables funding of green projects, including energy projects. MSME Spice, which is scheme for promotion and investment in circular economy. This again has funds earmarked for industries who do recycling, who use recycled raw materials, and who have circularity in their manufacturing process. Additionally, a new scheme that has been announced is textile focused research, assessment, monitoring, planning and startup, Tex ramps, which will significantly strengthen research, innovation and competitiveness in the textile sector. The recent credit and export facilitation measures announced by the government last month will also help mitigate challenges arising from the global slowdown and geopolitical disruptions, including the tariff levied by USA. At Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, CITI, we have been working consistently across multiple fronts to equip our textile industry, especially MSMEs, with updated knowledge of government schemes, emerging compliance requirements, and evolving trade norms. To support this, we have collaborated with institutions like Fairware, International Trade Center ITC, International Labour Organization ILO, Better Cotton Initiative, and many such institutions. Our efforts include informative webinars, stakeholder consultations, advisory support, and structured capacity building initiatives. We are very happy to have SGCCI as one of our most active and involved members, and I've had the pleasure of working with your past presidents such as Mr. Bharat Gandhi, Mr. Ashish Gujarati at various forums, and I've always found that whenever SGCCI attends an event or attends any government dialogue, they are always super well prepared. They always know the nuts and bolts of whatever initiatives are being discussed, and they always come with practical suggestions that can improve or take such initiatives forward. So, thank you, sirs, for your support to CITI and your active involvement. And together, we will definitely be able to work towards the betterment of our Indian textile industry. One other thing that CITI does is we are an implementation partner in the government's Samarth and PMKVY skilling programs. Here also, I invite all industry participants to take advantage of these schemes. These schemes are subsidized schemes whereby skilled workers will be made available to the industry. The industry will have to pay and share in the training needs, but this is more than an investment. This is something we are doing for not only our business and industry's future, but also for the country's future. And today, no part of the country, we can say, has excess manpower. Everywhere today there is a shortage of manpower. Everywhere our costs of manpower are going up, and less people are available to work in shifts, to work in the textile industry. I see this firsthand in Tamil Nadu, where it is a struggle. Every day it is a struggle to get workers, to train workers, and more importantly, to retain workers. After you have invested 2-3 months in training workers, if they leave, then that entire 2-3 months has been a waste. So that is where schemes like Samarth and PMKVY really help, because the workers go through a rigorous training and they understand what are the requirements of the job before they are put on the shop floor. So I would request SGCCI's involvement and enabling to participate with us, to broaden our base and to help your members take advantage of our skilling programs. CITI also has been entrusted by the government to spearhead the committee on fiscal, banking and credit interventions for the textile and apparel sectors. And here also, in the webinars, seminars that we had and the discussions we had, SGCCI was a very important partner. Friends, once again, it is a real pleasure for me to be here today, and I want us all to commit to building an ecosystem in India where our textile industry, led by clusters like Surat, can be recognized not only as major producers of MMF products, but also as a global center for innovation-driven, high-value and sustainable MMF finished products. I look forward to any questions that you might have and any discussions that we can have on the subjects that we have discussed and on subjects that are important to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashwin sir, for your sparkling speech. In the beginning, you mentioned Surat's contribution and importance, which is unmatched, and country needs more and more, many Surats. Yeah, that's wonderful. Surat, the only place, only textile center that can give a good tough fight to China. That's good idea, sir. You talked about how to increase the profitability. You said something about the global MMF scenario, changing from cotton to MMF and technical textile. You mentioned India's potential for export markets. One important thing that you told, $350 billion, that is our target, and MSME should gear up for that. It's a wonderful thing. You asked about documentation, data compliance, global standards and needs. Technical upgradation of Surat played a wonderful role. Modernization, green processing, which is going on very nicely here. You said about sustainability. In the last, you said digital supply chain and documentation. You throw light on European market and its potential. Sir, we are thankful to you for obliging us to have you here and adding a lot up to our ideas that can help us to grow in a nice way and very speedily. So thank you, sir. Now we open the session for the question and answer. તમને જે ક્વેશ્ચન કે કંઈ મગજમાં હોય કહેજો, તમને ઠીક લાગે લેંગ્વેજમાં કન્વર્ટ કરી દેશે, અને ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ વસ્તુ એ છે કે તમારા સવાલનો જવાબ મળવો જોઈએ. સો થેન્ક યુ એન્ડ આઈ વેલકમ ઓલ ઓફ યુ. તમારો હાથ જરાક ઉપર કરજો તો તમને માઇક્રોફોન આપશે, પછી વન બાય વન સમયની પ્રાપ્તિ અનુસાર આપણે સવાલ જવાબ કરીશું. થેન્ક યુ.
My name is Arun Singh. I am representing iPengram. We are in the cloud. We are AR, VR, AI and 4.0 to 4.5. अब इसको डिटेल में समझाऊंगा तो काफ़ी टाइम लगेगा, आप सब तो जान ही रहे हैं. बेसिकली कहा गया है, देखिए हम लोगों को इसको जोड़ना है, समाज के साथ देश जुड़ता है. हमारे धर्म में कहा गया है, हर धर्म में यही कहा गया है कि मनुष्य को धर्म, अर्थ, काम और मोक्ष की साधना करनी पड़ती है. धर्म मतलब क्वालिटी, कर्म मतलब हार्डवर्क विथ इंटेलिजेंस एंड सिस्टम, काम मतलब कार्य, मोक्ष मतलब ये आत्मा की मोक्ष की बात नहीं करते हैं, वसुधैवकम कुटुंबकम. जब इसको हम ग्लोबली सोचेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली ग्लोबल मार्केट ही हमको दिखेगा. अपनी पहचान जितनी छोटी बनाएंगे उतने छोटे होंगे और जितनी बड़ी बनाएंगे उतने बड़े होंगे. तो उसके लिए मैंने एमएसएमई के हर प्रोग्राम को मैं अटेंड करता हूँ, हर एक्टिविटी को अटेंड करता हूँ. लास्ट टाइम भी एमएसएमई और बैंक का जो प्रोग्राम था उनको मैंने विथ रिस्पेक्ट, पूरा कॉन्क्लेव हो गया उसके बाद मैंने उनके सामने विषय रखा, क्या आप अपने अपने विषय में तज्ञ हैं. जैसे आपके स्पीच में बहुत ही जो मैं कहना चाहता था वही चीज आई है. हुआ क्या कि बैंक अपनी स्कीम समझाएगा, एमएसएमई अपनी स्कीम समझाएगा, लेकिन बैंक के पास जाएंगे वो क्राइटेरिया देख के फंडिंग करेंगे और एमएसएमई क्राइटेरिया देख के स्कीम्स देंगे. बेसिकली मेरा 25 साल का सोशल अनुभव भी है. iPengraph is an export business और for the last 20 years 25 years से मैं ग्राउंड लेवल पे काम करता हूँ और नेशनल लेवल पे कोई भी एक पार्टी को रिप्रेजेंट करता हूँ. तो बेसिकली लोगों की जो ग्रास रूट पे जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं और पेपर्स पे आते आते वो प्रॉब्लम्स मीट नहीं हो पाती. जैसे आप कोई भी प्रोडक्ट कर लीजिए, मैं एमएसएमई की दृष्टि से बात करूंगा, फिर टेक्सटाइल से, और टोटल चीज मैं 4 मिनट में पूरी करूंगा. और बेसिकली क्या होता है
सर,
हाँ
हमारा मेन क्वेश्चन
नहीं, क्वेश्चन ये है कि जो चीज है आपने जो बताया है उसके लिए लोगों को सिस्टम एडप्ट करने के लिए जो मेंटल प्रिपरेशन करना पड़ेगा, वो आज के तारीख में जो बड़ी कंपनियां हैं वो उस एंगल में जा रही हैं. लेकिन एमएसएमई को स्ट्रॉन्ग करने के लिए आपके पास क्या विषय है?
सर थैंक यू, बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट सवाल है. सर वन थिंग इज, सी एमएसएमई साइज और स्केल में छोटा हो सकते हैं, बट सिस्टम्स में वी कैनॉट बी लैकिंग. So even if you are small, medium enterprise, the systems need to be like a bigger company. And wo systems, see today if you look at Japan, for example, what is their strength? Strength ये है कि every worker, अब quality के बारे में आपने बोला, every worker in a Japanese company thinks about quality and thinks about ownership. वो हर काम को ही इज द ओनर और शी इज द ओनर ऑफ दैट वर्क, ऐसा मेंटालिटी है. हमको वंस वन वर्कर इज देयर, उसको एक सुपरवाइजर है, सुपरवाइजर को एक शिफ्ट इंचार्ज है, शिफ्ट इंचार्ज को एक असिस्टेंट मैनेजर है, असिस्टेंट मैनेजर के ऊपर एक फैक्ट्री मैनेजर है, फैक्ट्री मैनेजर के ऊपर एक जनरल मैनेजर है. ये दिस इज नॉट द वे. टुडे इंडिया में वर्कर्स, लेबर एक्सेट्रा इज नो लॉन्गर चीप. We are no longer a cheap country. We want to be a developed economy. We want to be a developed country. So, if we want to aspire to that, then we have to reduce our reliance on supervision, checking, cross-checking. Even आप airport में जाइए, आप when you go through immigration, immigration officer ने passport को stamp करते हैं, और after 20 मीटर के बाद एक आदमी ने उसको check करते हैं. तो क्यों चाहिए? वो he is a IAS officer, IFS officer who is doing the stamping. क्यों one peon has to check whether he is stamped or not? ये वो mentality बदलना है, वो change करना है. आप Japanese companies, I really love talking about culture of Japanese companies because they follow quality as a almost like a habit. हम हमारे workers भी in our company also we have introduced quality circles. So every month we have 2 or 3 meetings where we talk to workers. वही शॉप फ्लोर में वही काम करते हैं. दे नो द बेस्ट. वो एक मशीन में क्या क्या फॉल्ट है, क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम है, उसको अच्छा मालूम है. सो वी हैव टू इन्वॉल्व एवरीबडी, क्रिएट सिस्टम्स टू टेक फीडबैक, क्रिएट सिस्टम्स टू रेक्टिफाई, टू सस्टेन एंड टू डू प्रिवेंटिव मेंटेनेंस, टू डू क्वालिटी चेक्स एंड मेक ईच डिपार्टमेंट रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द क्वालिटी दैट दे आर प्रोड्यूसिंग. वो मेंटालिटी आना है.
होता क्या है सर, एमएसएमई में मैन पावर का टर्नओवर बहुत होता है. इतनी एनर्जी लगाने के बाद वो जब स्किल हो जाता है तो उसको बड़े लोग उठा के ले जाते हैं.
हाँ, बट हम पूछना है कि क्यों 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 होता है, हम उसको क्यों नहीं रिटेन कर सकते हैं
जी.
वो लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स वो सिर्फ पैसा ही नहीं है, वो व्हाट इज द एम्पावरमेंट वी आर गिविंग, व्हाट इज द पावर वी आर गिविंग टू देम, what is the responsibility we are giving to them. If you make them feel and think like owners, then it is a different ballgame.
Very true, very true.
Any other question, please?
In textiles, second-hand machinery, import is allowed, but as far as banking is concerned, they are not giving the loan on import of the machinery, second-hand machinery, and it is too difficult for the small MSME unit in textiles because of space, finance and everything. What do you think about this?
No, sir, I agree that is a problem, but in certain areas imports are being, for example, looms, shutterless looms, for example. The government has a policy where if the looms are less than 15 years old, then imports are being allowed. Whether the bank is funding or not funding, that is sometimes a problem. But I mentioned, sir, city was given the responsibility of heading the fiscal reforms and banking regulations in textile sector. And we have recommended, that is one of our recommendations, one of our important recommendations. But sir, one other problem is that the bank is always worried about what is the life, what is the residual life. The loan they are giving, the repayment will be 7 years, 8 years. Will the machine last for 7 years, 8 years? These are some of the concerns that the banks also have, which have to be addressed. It is definitely a problem, but at the same time, we have to ensure that only good quality machines are coming into the country. So that challenge also is there. Maybe we can, some systems can be established to verify the age of the machines and then allow based on certain criteria.
My question is for the long. Reschedules life. If you can see here, 40 years old machine also work, not that efficiency. But as far as the new interpretation, the new boys of the age 18, 20, just coming out from the institutions of, then they don't find that opportunity. कि मैं छोटी capital में, with less capitals, I can do a business. And it was my personal experience that no bank is giving a loan for the second-hand textiles machinery. So it is my humble request, look into matters. Thank you.
We will do, sir. Thank you.
सर माय क्वेश्चन, सूरत एमएमएफ हब के रूप में फेमस है, तो यहाँ के एमएसएमईज इंटरेस्ट किस प्रकार का इंटरनेशनली कोलैबोरेशन पॉलिसीज़ को अडॉप्ट करें ताकि यूरोपीय यूनियन, मिडिल ईस्ट, अफ्रीका, यूएस में अपनी एक अलग से ब्रांड इमेज बना सकें, वहाँ अपना कंजम्पशन कर सकें. दिस इज माय क्वेश्चन.
अब ब्रांड्स बनना, सर दैट इज़ अ चैलेंज फॉर अस बिकॉज अब वर्ल्ड में एक प्रोमिनेंट इंडियन क्लोथिंग ब्रांड भी नहीं है. अदर चाइना भी अभी ये शीन ऐसा 2-3 ब्रांड ग्लोबल लेवल बना दिया. जापान यूनिक्लो is a very famous company. Sir, it is a difficult question because to create a global brand, one needs deep pockets also. It is not a simple exercise. And India may, one problem that we have is a businessman needs to take risk. And sometimes risk leads to failures. But our ecosystem failures are not looked at very kindly. Like you look at US economy, if a company is a failure, if a company declares bankruptcy, oh, hota hai. And the community understands, the financial industry understands, and that company also maybe in a few years after that can come out of that bankruptcy. But India mein that risk taking is limited to few large enterprises because the risk of failure is very, very high. And we don't want that risk of failure to be associated with our reputation, with our name. वो थोड़ा एक black mark होता है. That is one of the reasons, sir. But there is no easy answer, sir. There is no easy answer. And I know for a fact, I know a good company in Coimbatore based, Gangotri Textiles, a very reputed company. They tried launching, Mr. Tibrewal, they tried launching a brand, Tibre. This was almost 25 years ago. For 2-3 years they did very well. But then when they tried to ramp up to the next level, they had to borrow heavily. And once they were not able to repay the borrowing, the bank would not restructure the loan, etc. So then business collapsed. So this is one of the major problems and issues that we face. Thank you.
Just to elaborate this, Tirupur as a cluster has, branded itself very well. So we need your guidance how to brand Surat as a cluster, MMF cluster, and then it comes to individual branding. Individual branding you have already elaborated, but since we are also the member of the committee, banking reform committee, this risk-taking appetite, and see, bankruptcy and failure is social taboo in India, but whereas in other countries it is considered as a experience, learning experience. So if we can include some factors in that banking reform, that would be helpful. But how to be a cluster branded this thing, Surat as a cluster, how can we brand ourselves as a cluster in across the world and across the India?
Sir, being close to Tirupur, I'm very proud of what they have achieved. They are one of the largest knitwear clusters in the world today. But again, it has not come without pain, sir. I know Tirupur from the 1980s to now, how it has progressed. A lot of consolidation has happened there also. Because today, like I mentioned, every buyer, every brand is looking at sourcing from reduced number of suppliers. They don't want to, earlier Tirupur, a lot of things were done on job work. That is, the knitting will be done, first of all the knitter will source yarn from some other company, knitting will happen, they will send out the fabric on job work for dyeing or printing, they will get the fabric back, 20% they will do garmenting in-house, 80% they will send out garmenting. So all that has changed a little bit because companies that want to operate and companies that want to brand themselves to work with, say, buyers like Walmart or Zara, they have to have more integrated operations. And that I have seen personally over the last 15-20 years, more and more companies are having to integrate. If not integrate, at least collaborate. That I think Surat has done very well. That spirit of collaboration is very, very important because even if you don't have something in-house, you have to showcase that you have the ability, a partner who's there very close by, who can reliably given that work from a quality point of view, capacity point of view to work. I think, sir, Surat has done a very, very good job in terms of branding itself. But I think one area where Tirupur, they have two associations that work very closely towards branding. One is AEPC, Apparel Export Promotion Council. The other is TEA, Tirupur Exporters Association. Both of them have done a very good job of connecting buyers to their cluster, connecting global brands, global retailers to their cluster. I think that way, sir, more buyer-seller meets, more even producing today videos, producing good graphically enhanced presentations about the cluster, that goes a long way, sir. And participation in fairs. I think that is something that China has done very, very well. Every fair, international fair you go to in the world, Chinese companies will have a big presence there. That way, sir, I think in terms of promotion, self-marketing, I think we are, as Indians, we are a little bit shy to do that. But I think that is one area where we can improve ourselves. How to sell ourselves aggressively. We should not feel bad or ashamed about doing that. We should sell ourselves more aggressively and represent in all major fairs around the world, sir. I think today, more and more fairs and every geography. If you go to South America, there are important fairs there. If you go to North America, you go to Europe, everywhere there are significant textile fairs happening. I think more representation, if SGCCI can set up stalls in all of these fairs, showcase the ability that is there in this cluster, then I think that will also help a long way in establishing connect with the brands and retailers.
One more thing, we have just initiated one idea, that is cluster collaboration. Cluster collaboration between Tirupur and Surat. We have to learn a lot from the Tirupur about the export culture. I mean, it's not only about the export culture, even the brands in India need export-oriented quality. And they may learn MMF ecosystem from Surat. So this has been just initiated at a very initial stage. So what would be your guidance how to go ahead about this?
No, sir, this is a very, very good and important initiative because Tirupur until 5-6 years ago was 90% cotton based. Only now they are venturing into man-made fiber space and they are finding it difficult to source quality man-made fiber products. I know for a fact that a lot of microfilament polyester fabric is being imported from countries like Thailand, Taiwan and China. So I think it is a very important initiative, sir. Whatever help is required, we will be very happy. We have, SIMA is there, we work very closely. Yes, and we work very closely with TEA, very closely with AEPC. We will be very happy, sir, to organize any kind of interactive sessions, any kind of leads that we can give, any kind of joint sessions that we can do. We will be very happy to organize and be part of, sir. And but it's an excellent initiative, and I think this is what is the need of the hour, sir. How we can collaborate with one another, and how we can Surat's strength, how can it be capitalized, utilized by Tirupur? I think that's a very good area, sir.
Any more question? Please just give microphone. And perhaps this is the last question because we are running short of time.
Once upon a time, in such a meeting, I had been listened. If you are a small borrowers, then bank is your father. Whereas if you are a big borrower, then you will be father of the bank. Is it correct? Anyway, we are a small manufacturer, and margin you can see on the textiles varied from 2% to 5% and maximum maybe 10%. I was a client of in Haryana, not in Punjab, JCT, 50 years old factory was not being supported. Recently it was been closed, maybe last 2 years, 3 years. Similarly, here the BRC, Baroda Rayon, paid hundreds and thousands of rupees as a tax, but when it was been needed, it was been closed. So we are not getting any assistance from the government, and it is too bad for this country where the dollar is 90 rupees and you compare with the China growth $5, $7, no, yuan for $1, how we can travel and put our machines at this cost abroad. Sorry.
Very challenging question, sir. Sir, some of these companies I know, like JCT you mentioned, sir, companies also have to evolve with time. They have to keep up with modern technologies. They have to modernize. And I myself know that in Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore especially, at one point had 100 spinning mills. Today we have less than 10. So it is a sad fact that industry always evolves. But the good thing is a lot of the spinning mills, that shut down in Tamil Nadu, at least they have become, some of them have become real estate projects. So if one industry dies, then some other industry comes in place of that.
It is not a solution.
It is not a solution, but my point is basically that everything has a life cycle. Unless you are able to keep up to date, whether it's technology, whether it's cost, whether it's quality, unless you are able to keep up to date and keep modernizing, keep evolving, keep changing yourself from time to time, it will be very difficult to survive. And the same applies in textile industry also.
So we end our question answer session here. Ashwin sir, for your information, I will tell you, in his time, Ashish Gujrati and prior to him, were the more president. The Chamber of Commerce, SGCCI started textile and other educational programs as well as skill development programs. And this entire building is dedicated for this work only. Because we have migrated to another premises. So he was there. Right? So the chamber is doing very well in this regard also. Because in your speech you said export and quality, and he added branding. These are the main issues of the Surat. You have thrown a lot of light on that. So thank you, sir. હવે છેલ્લા પ્રોગ્રામ ભણી આપણે ગતિ કરીએ અને ચેમ્બર ઓફ કોમર્સના ઓનરરી સેક્રેટરી શ્રી બીજલભાઈ જરીવાલાને વિનંતી કરીશ કે તેઓ આભાર વિધિ કરે. બીજલભાઈ.
ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર સૌપ્રથમ ચેમ્બરના ટેક્સટાઇલ પર્વમાં આપ સૌ ઉપસ્થિત રહ્યા એ માટે આપ સૌનો આભાર માનું છું. આવતીકાલે આ ટેક્સટાઇલ પર્વનો બીજો દિવસ, તેમાં સુરતના ખ્યાતનામ ઈગલ ગ્રુપના ડાયરેક્ટર શ્રી ધર્મેશભાઈ પટેલ પધારવાના છે અને સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી ઇન ધ મોડર્ન વીવિંગ એડવાન્સ ઇકો ફ્રેન્ડલી ટેક્સટાઇલ થ્રુ વિસ્કોસ યાન આ વિષય પર એમનું वक्तव्य આપશે. तो आप સૌને આ પ્રોગ્રામમાં હાજર રહેવા માટે વિનંતી કરું છું. आज के इस कार्यक्रम में हमारे साथ उपस्थित काफ़ी जाने माने टेक्सटाइल उद्योग के श्री अश्विन भाई का मैं चैम्बर की ओर से शुक्रगुजार करता हूँ. अश्विन भाई, आपने यहाँ पे आके जो नॉलेज शेयरिंग किया है और हमारे इंडस्ट्री को और इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट को जो नॉलेज दिया है, उसके लिए मैं चैम्बर की ओर से आपका शुक्रगुजार करता हूँ. हमारे चैम्बर के ये प्रोग्राम के लिए आशीष भाई, गिरधर गोपाल मुंद्रा जी, अमरीश भाई, ये सारे जो हमारे एफआरआरसी और टेक्सटाइल वीक और टेक्सटाइल टास्क फोर्स से जुड़े हुए सभी मित्रों काफ़ी सारा प्रोग्राम के लिए मेहनत करते हैं और काफ़ी सारे अच्छे से अच्छे स्पीकर को बुलाने के लिए वो रमेश प्रयत्न करते हैं और ये वीक को सफल करने के लिए उनका बहुत बड़ा योगदान है. मैं तीनों मित्रों का चैम्बर की ओर से शुक्रगुजार करता हूँ. और आप सब मित्रों को मेरी नम्र गुजारिश है कि आप सब चैम्बर के साथ में जुड़िए और चैम्बर के ये सारे प्रोग्राम का हो सके उतना आप लाभ उठाए. थैंक यू वेरी मच.